Welcome, of course, to another very special edition of a beginner breakdown. I've got great news. I am now on Twitter. As soon as I get 100 followers, I will start tweeting. You can follow me at The Real Mike Hummer at BigCumSTL, all right? So be sure to tweet, and I'll follow you, and we can all have a lot of fun, okay? And today, you might remember this guy, Alex. Come on up here, Alex, from the, from the season premiere, interrupting my lecture. So as a reprimand, I am going to analyze his games. You're in a lot of trouble today, Alex. And today he has the black pieces. This is hot off the presses, okay?
Will there be any vim or just vigor?
So here it goes. As you all know, Ben Feingold, Grandmaster Ben Feingold, is now our resident back from an undisclosed location, and but he's back, so it's good to be back. All right. So Stetina's got the black pieces. He's playing the most simple-minded opening, E4, E5. So that's all he can really grasp so far. So that's what he's up to. So he's already got a cool pathway for this bishop. So guess what he decides to do? Hey, I'll get him so he can have this cool pathway too. So keep a lot of options, okay, Alex? A lot of options. You should just decide one and go for it. And of course, he can't resist after playing G6 to play bishop to C5.
The point.
That's the whole point of it. All right, so if you already have an escape for your bishop, there's no reason to create another one, all right? Especially if you're not going to put the bishop there anyway. All right, so white just goes for it, knight to D5. So now if he brings his knight to F6, he can just take it. But he decides against it. He plays C3. And so black says free pawn. So is there any good move white can do here? If I was white, I would probably just get castled here. But he goes for it. He goes for D4. And black retreats. He probably should take it. But okay, he retreats his bishop to not the best square. But it does protect the pawn. So white decides to play bishop to E3, over protecting this pawn. So they have a lot of different trades they can do. There's a piece of black's and white's camp that is easily attacked, but he decides to protect the pawn. Much better for this bishop would be up here, preventing a castle. All right, so castle. Now he decides to attack the knight. So ideas like F5 would be horrible because it would just lose everything to discovered checks, right? What's the crusher? There's got to be a crusher somewhere. I mean, you could just play knight to B6 if you really wanted to be lazy and not calculate anything, right? Knight to C7, knight takes C7, even better than B6, yeah. All right. So don't play your F pawn, please. All right. So he decides to take finally, and when he takes back, he's got a really cool way he can protect the knight here. Anybody see it? How would you protect the knight in this position? Rook to E8 would be good. He decides to put his queen to E8, which is a disaster for a lot of reasons. So adjourned, he just can't wait to say it. Excellent. Okay? So a lot of people at home would probably say, oh, well, you can't play that. So because bishops can move backwards. All right. So after queen takes, and the knight check, and not very good. So that third move, G6, is really just crushing this guy here. But don't worry, his opponent didn't see it. And instead he plays the move b4, threatening b5. All right, what a threat. What a threat. So he decides, I'm just going to take it. And he's like, I'm going to take it. And I'm going to take it with check. And he's got to be really careful here. So, do you think he gets out of this queen knight disaster? No. Walks right into it. Gets closer to the... All right, so d6 activates the bishop here. Okay. Rook a to b1 attacks the bishop. And can you see a decent move for black here, besides the Grand Master? And remember, like last week, we were looking for checks and captures and all the good stuff. Oh, now that I gave Adjourn the hint, he's like, oh yeah, now I got it. I'm sure you would have had it anyway. All right, Adjourn, what is it? Doesn't get the job done. Remember, we're looking for checks and captures, which Queen A4 is neither. So at home, do you got it? Do you see a big check? Hey, August finally got it. All right. Yes, sir.
Knight C3.
Knight C3, check. Yes, fork. Okay. So let's see what happens actually in the game. All right, exactly as I predicted. All right. And then he's like, all right, no problem. I got it. You got it. Okay. All right, so he just lost an exchange, and now this bishop is under attack. Let's see if he sees it, okay? So he protects it with a5. Dangerous, okay? Notice this bishop doesn't have many spaces to go to. Just really a3 and c3. So I might think of things like this and that to trap it. But those are just ideas. Or you can always just prevent the bishop from going to g4. Whatever you want to do. c6, g4. Oh, he's preparing his kingside attack now, okay? So white is losing this game, so why not just go for an all-out attack? He still has this bishop that can go to h6, well, which he should be doing, right? And just winning back the exchange here. So eventually he'll get to it, it looks like. All right, d5 attacks the bishop. So we retreat the bishop. And now he gets his f5 move in. So now that the rook can finally move, he decides to attack it. All right. Rook f7, king g2. All right, we probably want to get our knight up on e5 and attack. King g2, f takes g4, and now knight e5, the fork. Black should take with check. Okay, just because his rook is under attack here doesn't necessarily mean he has to move it. He could just play check. And of course, white's got to get out of the check. Good luck, I guess, with that move. So, okay, so he moves the rook anyway. Rook f6. Bishop attacks the rook. Now he's like, okay, I can take with check. King g3. And now his rook's attacked. So he moves it. Rook f8. White protects all his pieces with f4. And now he offers the trade. Good, he's up material. He might as well start trading the material. Except the bishop is doing a really good job protecting this pawn, so I might not want to. But he wants to. Bishop f5. So he can't resist the take. Take. How would you take back this pawn? With the rook or the king? Or does it matter? I would take back with, well, Jeremy, what are you going to say? The rook, yeah. And I love that my rook's on this H file here. I don't want my king on the H file. All right, but he takes back with the king. Queen e6. Excellent, okay? Threatening Rook takes bishop check. So he's got to get, oh yes, adjourn. Yes, he's also threatening rook takes pawn. He can do it all, okay? He's threatening discovered check. Okay, so let's see what we got. But so you would take the knight in this position? Yeah, of course you would. All right, so he's like, all right, he's bringing his king way up toward the enemy camp here. All right, let's see if it works out for him.
He's activating his king.
Yeah, activate the king. The king can become a warrior, as we know. Yes. All right. So excellent. Bishop to e7, threatening check. I love it. And now he's like, all right, I'm going to get on offense here. If you had to guess, this game will be over in about 4 moves. Who do you think? Who do you think? Adjourn? Yeah. Yeah. Considering Alex Stetina is playing black. Yeah. Good guess. Okay. All right, so he gets check. And guess what? He's going to get another check here. And he's still going to manage to lose in 4 moves. All right. All right, rook f4 check. King to g3.
I predict rook a.
Yeah, so he's really scared that this rook is under attack. Really scared. Like, he's never been so scared. And this rook is also under attack. So whichever rook he plays to f8, it doesn't matter. So he's like, I got this big attack going. Look at me. Look at me. Well, look at you, okay? So what does white play here? Come back up here and let's look at him again. Yeah. All right. Hopefully everybody can see how white turned this whole thing around. Adjourn. Is that a fact or is it a guess?
That's how he won.
Yeah, that's how he did win. That's the winning move. Checkmate. Game over. Okay. So even though he got down early, he couldn't seal the deal. All right. So, but that's okay. You know, you win some, you lose some, and then the next one we might actually show one where he wins, maybe. All right. So in this one, Alex has the white pieces. And he's like, I've had enough of all this opening theory, considering I don't know it anyway, okay? So I'm just going to play logical moves and just see what happens. All right. So there's a little kid that comes to the club a lot. He like plays the same like first 7 moves every game he plays and with mixed results. But he doesn't have to learn any opening theory. So let's see if it works out. So c4, black plays e6. Why do you think I hate the move e6 in this position? Adjourn. Right. It's like this guy is going to have no hope for the rest of the game. I don't even think he moves the whole game either. So, I mean, it's just every move you make, very, very important because it all leads up, you know. You make one mistake early in your life, you got to recover somehow, all right? So this is a big, big mistake. I mean, you're paralyzing your future for this guy. All right, so don't play like that. All right, so g3, c6. So now everybody thinks probably from the last game he's going to play e3, right? But he's wising up, and he plays bishop to g2. Gets him on this long diagonal. Good job. Knight f6. And knight to c3. And now he plays bishop to b4, threatening to double his pawns. But he's like, I don't care about double pawns. I mean, I don't care. Whatever, double pawns. As a very dubious player once said, double the pawns, double the strength. All right. And I proceeded to whoop him 10 times in a row after he said that. All right, so guess what? He doesn't do anything about it. Like adjourn, you would probably play like queen to b3, queen to c2 here. That way if he takes, you know, you don't have double pawns, right? All right, so instead he's like, I don't care. Whatever, double pawns, I'll take them. Whatever. And so he did manage to capture toward the center, so that was decent. And so black's like, oh, you know what? I'll do you a favor. All right. I know you don't want double pawns, so I'll let you just get rid of them. And he's like, okay, thanks. And now if you were good at chess, all right, and you were playing black, you have 4 options how to take this pawn back. And obviously, if you've been listening to me, you would know exactly which way to take back. Alex Stetina.
C-pawn?
The C-pawn. So of course he picks the wrong answer. Alex Stetina, even though I've probably gone over this game with him before, you actually want to take with your E-pawn to activate your bishop now. The computer, let's see what the computer says. The computer's so funny. He probably gets it wrong too. Yeah. The computer.
Wow.
All right, so the computer sided with Alex Stetina.
Gives that knight a square.
Yeah, it gives the knight a square. It gives the knight a square. Yep. So, what move should we play in this position? Obviously, bishop a3, as cited by both the father and the son. Okay. Who said it first? We'll never know. All right, so b6. All right. Now, he should obviously get castled here. But instead, he gets his knight going into enemy territory without a specific plan. Great idea. Okay. So queen to c7. So he protects it. Knight b to d7. Attacks it. So, you know, just pin it, right? If you can pin something, pin it. Queen a4, a6. Actually, he gets castled. He's got to watch out for these checks. Obviously, right now, check would be no good because bishop could take it. But he's got to be watching out for the checks. All right, so he attacks the queen. And now he's like, all right, my queen's attacked. All right, I'll just simply move it. Everything's fine. Okay? But is everything fine if you're playing the black pieces?
Danger will run.
Danger, yes, threatening checkmate. Okay? So you gotta watch out for it. Knight takes knight, yes, 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 excellent. Pawn takes. Should queen come down and take this pawn? No, because you would get checkmated. So he's got to move the knight. Should he move his knight here? Anybody? Nope, because he would get checkmated. So you got to watch out for these checkmates. So he plays knight to e4. Anybody that's anybody would just take this knight right away, okay? And you'd have funny pawns. But he decides to protect this pawn. Too slow, way too slow. And now that gives black a chance to play a really good move here to relieve some of the pressure from his queen. So look, this e7 is such a crucial square, right? If the queen, if the queen move off of protecting e7, game's over. So who can help relieve some of the pressure? Yes, adjourn. What? Oh, so adjourn suggests a5, which unfortunately, okay, so he's got to get the queen off the thing, off this diagonal line, but he can take with check, and that would hurt.
Rook a7?
Rook a7, yes, 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 yes. Rook a7. So now he's got some backup, okay? So now he decides to take the knight. Too slow, too slow, too slow. So he attacks the pawn. And now white could protect it with bishop to b7 maybe if he wants to. But he's got to watch out for ideas like rook f1 here. So he decides to play f5 and just clog it up. But obviously he never heard of a special rule in chess called en passant. No, never heard of it. All right, so what en passant is if you have a pawn on your 5th rank. That means you're in enemy territory on row number 5. And the opponent makes a move, moving his pawn up twice, and it lands on that exact same row of yours. You can capture it as if he only moved up once. So you could just pretend like, in this instance, that he played F6. And so whenever they play F6, you just take it, and then white is crushing here. But, you know, his opponent took a risk. Like, this guy, he doesn't know what Up-a-san is. And he was right. He was right. So he's like, darn. And so he'll just attack. And now he attacks the rook. He's got to take it all the way back. And now black makes a horrible error. So he's finally, like, kind of cooled off this attack, okay? He's got 2 people protecting the, he's got 2 people protecting E7. You know, he could even play rook G8 and then G6, rook G7, just to have the whole gang there, okay? Well, you won't want to play that, though. But anyway, he's fine, okay? But he's really nervous still about it. So what's a bad move black could play here? So plays queen to E7, okay? It's true, it crushes all of white's hopes of checkmate, but it deliberately gave up an exchange for no good reason. Jern, you have a question? All right, but Jern thinks he's got to find a worse move than queen to E7. Queen A5. Queen A5 is the worst move. So queen A7 is... Well, let's have a big debate about it, okay? All right, so there's a lot of bad moves in the position, and he found one of them, okay?
The worst move's bishop D7. It's the only move that hangs mate in one.
Oh, yeah. That's why he's the grandmaster. You can find the good moves and the bad moves.
And the worst.
And the worst. All right. So anyway, he wimps out and does this. So now, Alex.
I thought white played D3 and black played G5, but those moves disappeared.
Yeah, all right, so it's all coming back, okay? It's all coming back. Hopefully. Uh-oh. F5, and then he goes D3, G5, boom. And then the weak trade. And, all right, so now what does white want? Well, obviously he wants to win this endgame, right? But what does he really want for his rooks in this position? Open files, right. It's like you've been hanging out at a lesson with me before. Yeah, open files. So just open the file, break open the file. Don't complain about it like I don't have any open files. Like the move D4 in this position would be awful. All right, so he takes, and now he decides he's going to start playing really good, which is good, okay? Better sooner than later. All right, so what's a really cool move that white has? Yes? Yeah, it's right in his face. Yeah, I'm coming for you. I'm attacking all your stuff. Excellent. So once again, this guy's gonna be like, oh no. And so rook takes, king takes, and white has obviously he's crushing right now, but I mean, he wants to get the job done fast, right? So a lot of people that never watched my chair lecture would be like yelling about, hey, let's check them, let's check them. It's so cool to check them. No, don't check them, play. You're gonna win, you're gonna win all his pawns. It doesn't matter what he does. Right, it would, but in order, but you're giving up. Now his king has major activity. And he's gonna come down and eat that, and he's gonna come eat that, and then race that b pawn to victory. Okay? So, what's
That would take a while.
Rook F7.
Rook F7? You don't check, you say, haha, you're on the, you're going to be forever on the back row and you can't do nothing. This king, in this position, you know, this bishop, thanks to move 1, e6, has never got to play one move the whole game. So actually, this king is still a better piece. He's got more chances to take stuff than this bishop in this endgame. So if we can just contain the king, he has no hope. Okay, and we love it when the opponent has no hope. All right, so what can he do now? All right, so he saves the pawn with h5. And then adjourn. What?
A7?
Rook a7. Attack the protected pawn.
I said H7.
You better have. All right. So good. So he decides he's a little lazy. He's just, I just move it over 1. All right, so attacks that one here. And now what would you play?
Rook G5.
Rook g5. No. So if you play rook to g5, guess what? You let him get off the back row, right? Whereas you could play rook to h7, and now you keep him on the back row. You want to keep the guy on the back row as long as possible. It might not matter. It's true, it doesn't matter in this position if he plays g5 or h7. But in a more tightly contested endgame adjourn, every tempo matters, okay? So keep that king contained. But yeah, of course, Alex plays rook to g5. All right. So a5, and he's just going to mop him up now. Rook takes h5, b4. This is the most critical position in this game. This is the only way White can screw it up. So, and thankfully he doesn't. So what should White play in this position? Yes.
Check on D4.
Yeah, just take it, right. Eliminate the threat. All right. Take on b4. All right. So rook g5, bishop a6. He takes. Bishop c4. And then we just take the pawn. And even if he takes this pawn, we can just take his pawn, right? And the game is over. That's essentially how it ends. I mean, it's pretty bad. But good job, okay? So he got on the board with a victory. And now we get to see his final game, where he plays the most embarrassing move of all time. He is the black pieces actually in this game. So it's very exciting. So we'll do the old Control F. And okay, so it's Alex Stetina playing black. And let's see what he does. All right. So d4, knight f6, knight f3, and so of course black plays the dubious e6 here. Okay. So once again, just killing all hopes of this bishop ever doing anything. So White saw how bad his light square bishop is, so he decides to get in the fun and kill his own dark square bishop, okay? So you want your bishops outside of the pawn chain, right? Bishop f4, or bishop g5 even, then e3 is acceptable. But when you play e3 right now, you know, you're killing your mobility of your pieces for no unforced errors, for no good reason. d5, so now he's like, well, I can't get the bishop out this way thanks to my last move. I have to get him out this way now. b3, knight c6, bishop to b2. But is this bishop like a monster on b2? No, because he's behind his pawn chain. d4, yep. All right, so Alex plays his bishop out. He's like, I don't want to be checked, even though he has no plans of checking him there, so whatever. All right, so black gets castled. That's good. Alex has been getting castled in these games, and he's doing okay. So bishop to d3. This is a really good diagonal for this bishop here, threatening checks and all sorts of fun stuff. So black plays a6 here, and white finally gets castled. So he's going to play b5.
That position can be sacrificed?
No, because if we sacrifice here, the knight can take, and you have nothing.
And the king can take too.
Yeah, anybody can take, but you know, just to be safe, you take with the knight. All right, knight to e4. Knight to e4. See, the knight is like a huge defender in this position. I would not want to trade it. But he's like, I don't care. Give me the double pawns. Knight to e7. And now white plays a very, very speculative move. Bishop to e2. All right, you don't want to be just retreating for no good reason. And the bishop was so beautiful on this diagonal too. All right. So black plays c6, white gets his knight out. Black gets the battery going. The queen bishop on the same line, attacking h2 here. So now he decides to take. And that really just makes all of black's plans come to light, because now he must remove the defender of h2. He goes backwards. So bishop takes h2 check. King moves over. He doesn't want to get his bishop trapped here after g3. So he decides very smartly to move it back out of harm's way. And the knight takes the pawn now. And black plays f5 to attack the knight. So he takes the bishop. Queen takes the bishop, and now white plays the move f4. Okay, so black sees, Alex sees, wow, this king is on an open H file. I really want to get all my pieces on that H file. Okay, so let's see if his plan works. Rook to f6. Now white's like, hey, he just put his rook on f6. I wonder if I have a discovered attack. All right. Anybody see a discovery? All right, so let's see if we can see the discovery first, and then we'll ask ourselves, is our discovery any good? All right. A lot of people are getting their hands raised. All right, obviously. All right, adjourn. What's the discovery?
D5, but I don't think it works.
Why?
Because it isn't really attacking much. And you can play rook h6 and then take the pawn.
Excellent. That's the whole reason it doesn't work. Is because after d5, which is played in the game, he needs to calculate. He can't just say, oh, discovery. Because he should have asked himself before that, is why did he play rook to f6? Obviously to check you. So even though you see a discovery, he gets that intermezzo or in-between move, rook h6 check. King moves. And now we have an option. Once again, we have 4 different ways we can capture this pawn. Does anybody have any ideas which is the best? I know what you're going to say. So just say it.
The C or D pawn.
Well, you got to pick one.
C pawn.
C pawn. C pawn. C
Why
pawn.
not the knight?
Wait, because it pins the knight. We don't want to put our pieces in pins, right? But maybe the computer does. So my vote is E pawn. So let's see if the computer just says I'm an idiot.
They're all good.
They're all good?
Yeah.
Knight takes d5, obviously. Unbelievable. This computer gives me no respect. All right, so Alex Stetina's playing like the computer. He's like, yeah, I'll put my knight in a pin. No problem at all. No problem at all. All right. So now, where do you think black's queen wants to get to? Whether it's dubious or not. Yes?
H1 or H2.
Okay, yep. So white's actually going to help him like expedite that process, okay? So first things first, he attacks the queen thinking, wow, I attacked the queen, look at me. This is not good. He wants to wait till this rook's on b8 or something. And then that's when you give the attack. But okay, but he can't wait, okay? So he's like, thank you, I want to go here anyway. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so he's like, all right. And so I'll make it even more tempting for you to go to h4. So he's like, all right. And he's oh. So now bishop to f3. Now, I find the move. Even the computer can't even say anything. But let's really look at this. So black, Alex has his whole dream come true. He's got everybody on the H file. But the big question is it any good? The mystery. So you just analyze the checks. I check you there, he goes there, I check you there. He might just go back and laugh at you. And you're like, darn, that didn't do nothing. All right, but we could get right in his face. Check, king there, check, and once again, he might just go back and laugh at you. So it doesn't look like our checks are doing anything. So just because you have a check, see a check, doesn't necessarily mean you want to play it. But, I mean, you really can't resist, right? Or can you? I don't know. But, Queen G3. Well, why don't I just play like, well, maybe I don't know what I play. I can play anything. Well, what's the threat then? Rook here? So it's tough. So my idea in the position, and we'll see if the computer likes it, is bring my rook in the game and then get him on the D file. And then we might be threading some good stuff. So let's see what the computer says. See how in this position, the computer, his top two moves will not be a check, okay? So just because you have the big check, if you can't calculate it out to mate, or you could hope it's mate, but it's obviously not, doesn't necessarily mean you have to play it. So, are we looking for the worst move?
I mean, did you play Queen F2 and think it was mate and this king takes queen?
So Queen F2 might actually be the worst move.
I mean, it's mate if you can't take it. I'm trying to figure out what he was thinking.
Unfortunately, he plays... Anybody else? Queen F2 looks pretty bad. That might be the officially worst move.
I'm trying.
Anybody else have a guess? Yes?
Queen G5.
Queen G5. That's pretty bad too. But it's close. Queen H5. All right. So get that queen in the same line as the bishop and the queen. And now he's so mad that he just took the queen. Of course, he's going to take the bishop. And then voila, game over. Game over.
And I accidentally put my
Yeah,
back
it was an accident, okay? It's all an accident. Whenever you lose, just an accident. Oops, yeah.
Brian, Joe, probably he tried to put his queen on H2 or H1, change his mind, and put it back on the wrong side.
yeah.
That's what I'm guessing.
That's what
I
happened.
was dragging it, and I was like, I'm going to drop it here, and I changed my mind, and I put it back on.
All right. So there's the games of the great Alex Stetina. All right. So if you're ever at the club and looking to whoop up on somebody, just come in and say, hey, let me play Alex Stetina. All right. All right. Hopefully y'all follow me on Twitter, The Real Mike Hummer, and we'll have a lot of fun. All right.
Is it the real Mike
Thank you.
Hummer?
Yes, The Real Mike
I
Hummer.
couldn't find
Well, I have 0 followers so
No, I
far.
couldn't find it.
All right.
Wait, did you
Oh,
say that
thank
was
you.
something different? Like,
Yeah, I thought you said something else.
like, we'll link over at
Oh yeah, big cum STL.